Shalom, all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Rachak Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Most Honorable World, pushing this 100% truth of the gospel, waking up and sealing the elect of the nation of Israel through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai. And salutations to all your sincere Akimate that are pushing this gospel in all righteousness and in all sincerity, risking your lives and your freedom to do so. Yeah, so just go back from camp, and while I was at camp, I was meditating on this lesson, which is basically going to be something along the lines of the strength of the youth. All right, the strength of the youth, because the scriptures go always, the scriptures goes into that how you should worship the Most High in your youth. Let me get that. I believe that is Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter. All right, I have it queued up right here. Ecclesiastes 12, verse 1. Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. That's right, okay? Because there's a reason why the Most High calls men during their youth, right? There's a reason why the Most High is calling when he calls Akim, when he calls you into this truth, when you come into this truth, you're always coming in as a young man. And while majority of the people that come into this thing, they come in as young men, in their teens, in their 20s, when they are still considered youth, because they have that strength of the youth, the strength to push this one, and of course to endure in this truth up until their old age, so that they can grow the gray hairs in this truth. All right. So basically, what I wanted to go into was the strength of the youth. All right, that strength that is brought from this, by the strength of the youth, and that strength that is given to us through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, because starting today, I just finished up camp today a few hours ago, and yesterday, I had a lot of work, to do. I was very busy throughout. Okay, but of course, you still make the time. There's still always still going to be time for to do a quick, to do a camp video. But basically, what I'm going into that throughout yesterday and even today, I was busy throughout, doing various things. Okay, but all throughout that, okay, whether I was, training, whether I was the training, okay, going to this, whether I was training, okay, going up to the field, playing a little ball, all right, or whether it was, the work, going to work, throughout the whole of yesterday, being busy, or whether it was, whether I was going to the markets, going to going to the market to buy food stuff so I could cook in the house, or no matter what I was doing, okay, all throughout I did not feel any fatigue or any tiredness, in doing it, and that's something that I noticed was happening more and more when I came into this truth, man. Ever since I came into this truth, my strength has increased, my stamina has increased, my activity or my activeness. I don't know the word to use exactly, but basically, I'm more active than I was when I was in the world, because anybody that knows me from the world knows I was sluggish, I was slow as hell, I was always sluggish and dull. I didn't really do much, okay. Ever since I came into this truth, that spirit is just on me. And right now I can do a lot more than I could before I came into this truth. I'm more active, more active, like I said. All these things have come into me. I'm fully in the strength of my youth. Let me put it like that. And that's the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahashaya, right? Because now let me go to this. I believe that is the precept that was just in Isaiah the 40th chapter, I believe. And because the Most High Spirit is on us right now, and that Spirit is giving us strength, it's granting us strength, okay? Because it's not just, because the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahashaya isn't just building up our spirit and our faith, it isn't just building up the spiritual man, but to an extent, it's also building up the carnal man, the physical man as well, giving you that strength in your body. I mean, of course, I know this is going into spiritual power and it's going into a future prophecy, but it also applies in this case. So, this is the book of Isaiah 40, verse 29, and it reads, He giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might, He increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon Yahweh shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. And that's right, okay? Because right now, when our walk, first and foremost, if you go into the spiritual aspect, we shall walk and not faint. We shall run and not be weary. Going into this truth, okay, we'll be able to continue in this truth without getting weary, without getting weak, without falling off. If we are of the elect, if we have been chosen by Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, because that can Brothers out here, Jake is out here falling off this street for these most stupid reasons, okay? Some Jakes fall out literally because they got bored of preaching this gospel, you know. Some Jakes fell out because that spirit, that faith, that fire fell out of them. But, you know, the Most High has been gracious to us and has allowed us to continue in this thing, you know. Even if you even been in this truth for 1 month, that's still a blessing right there. You know, you got all the way to 1 month. You know, congratulations, all right. But the Spirit has been in us, you know, the Spirit has been working with us and has been increasing us steadily and is keeping us in this thing, you know, keeping us on the straight path, keeping us on this walk, on this run, without getting weary, without getting tired, you know, we're still doing it and we're still going at it and we're getting even faster and faster in our movements, okay? From crawling to walking to running, you know how it is, okay? You know how it is. And even from our youth, and the dream, and the dream of the youth, you know, if we stay in this, if we last in this kingdom that long, you know, Lord willing, it doesn't happen, but even if, all right, one of my prayers is that I get, I spend, I grow, or rather, I age in this truth. I don't live the truth, up until my old age. Just like the apostles down, just like the apostles down the highways and byways. And that's another thing right there, right? You see the apostles in their advanced age, because I believe right now the apostles are in their 60s, okay, because they've been in this thing for over 30 years, I think the Apostle Tahir is going to 30, they're almost going to 40 right now. But the apostles in their 60s and they're still in this truth, and you see the strength that they have. The apostles even are even more active than most jakes that are my age, they're in their early 20s that are still in the prime of their youth. Or and that's because of what the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahshua is on them. In order to push this gospel, man, to go out to the highways and byways every week. They're still doing videos, the apostle Gabba does his work and talks, You see, and Jake that at their age are usually 2 weeks to be doing all these things, man. That's when they start to get sick. They start to get all these kind of complications, back pains, hip pains, shoulder pains, joint pains, various kind of things happening to them because of what? Because of the way they are living in this in the world, man. But because the spirit of the Most High is not dealing with them, but because the spirit is dealing with the apostles, you see they still have that strength on them. So now let me get another preset, because what we're going into is actually the strength of the youth, right? Which is basically what I just observed from my own life. So this is the book of Proverbs 20, verse 29, and it reads, "The glory of young men is their strength, and the beauty of old men is the grey head." That's right, when you are young, you have your strength, your strength on your side, but as you grow old, you start to get that wisdom, the wisdom that comes with gray hairs, all right? Which, of course, not everybody that has gray hair has that wisdom, but the wisdom has always, that the gray hairs have always been associated with wisdom, all right? And you increase in that wisdom as you grow older. Right now, as a youth, you have that your strength on you, and that's why the Most High has called the youth, because we just say, that's in my music, because he calls this young, he calls the young men into this thing, that's why he calls men when they are still in their youth, so this, because of that strength, because he knows that is the youth that will have that, because what the youth have, the glory of the youth, the young men, the glory of the youth is the strength. And of course, the beauty of the old men is those that have gotten old in this truth, that have aged in this truth, that went from black hairs to gray hairs in this truth, because there are videos of the apostles on YouTube when their hair was still black, all right? And now you see them with their gray hairs, even going up to white, because they've aged in this truth, and that's beautiful. That's something that the Akim can look at, in awe and aspire to be like, because I believe that, I mean, almost, that all the sincere brothers in Great Millstone, we aspire to be like the apostles, because what they are teachers, we are learning under them, and they've taught us so much more than any other person out here in this world, man. And that's this, of course, teaching us through the spirit and power we are all about in our shine. But yeah, let me just end it right there. I just wanted to go into that little bit. So with that, I'd like to give all praises, honor and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'asham Yahushai, Ba'asham Achak Wadash, Wa Abad Babal, and through the spirit of Akemayu Akwas were edified. Shalom.